Hello and welcome to Vote 2010 on Bendigo IPTV. Over the past week, we've brought you a series of extended interviews with our local candidates and local commentators. We've heard their policies and their thoughts. Now it's time to see what you think. We've hit... Oh, sorry.
Do you want me to scroll it down?
It's pretty jarring, so it's easier if I do it. I just have to not move it until I get there. Right. Can you see it very obviously?
No, it's fine.
Hello and welcome to Vote 2010 on Bendigo IPTV. Over the past week, we've brought you a series of extended interviews with our local candidates and local commentators. We've heard their policies. Now it's time to see what you think about the federal election. We hit the streets of Bendigo to ask voters who they think they'll vote for at this early stage of the campaign and what issues are important to them.
Tony Abbott, he likes to wear Speedos, I suppose. I don't know.
Well, I don't really like him in Speedos. It's sort of the image I've got of him, but I'll probably vote for him.
And how much do you know about our local representatives?
Not a lot. I haven't... Yes.
Who's our local?
Who are they?
Craig Hunter and Steve Gibbons.
Well, we know Steve Gibbons. He's Labor. The other one, is he Liberal?
Craig Hunter. Haven't
He's...
heard much about
yes,
Craig.
I know of him. Yes, well, I won't be voting for them, I don't think. I'll see. I haven't sussed it out yet.
And what do you think about Australia's first female Prime Minister?
Well, I'm a teacher, so I don't like her policy on education. I have not been impressed so far.
Excellent. And what about you, sir?
I don't like her pinstripe suits.
What do you think of us having a female Prime Minister?
Yeah, I reckon it's awesome.
Why?
She's a girl. Yeah, I reckon she'll do good for our country.
Well, she's a woman, for one thing.
Is that a good thing to be or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing, yeah.
Will you be voting for her in this election?
I haven't made a decision yet, but I'll be thinking definitely in that line.
Do you know what's going to help you decide, or is it going to be on the day decision?
It'll be on the day decision, I think. When I hear a bit more from both sides, then I'll make my decision.
It's a historic moment, I guess.
Do you think you'll vote for her in this election?
Well, it depends on the policies. It's looking fairly encouraging so far. I like the comment about not necessarily wanting a big Australia.
And what about our local representatives? Do you know who they are?
Steve Gibbons, so far seems to have done a reasonable sort of job.
So you'd be happy for him to stay in his seat?
I think so.
And what about asylum seekers? That's one of the major issues in the election.
I think, personally, I probably have a old-fashioned view that we really need to look after our own backyard before we take on the troubles of the rest of the world. Yes, I know people have come from terrible places and they do come from hard and difficult circumstances, but we've got homeless people on our streets here too, and we really do need to look after our own backyard, so to speak.
So what are the issues that concern you in the upcoming election? What's going to determine how you vote?
The environment, I think, is a big concern that's probably become on the agenda very quickly over the last few years. Things like sort of water supply and infrastructure, which obviously have failed to keep pace with the population. I think these are very crucial needs that need to be addressed.
Do you know how you'll be voting in this election?
I'll probably be voting for her.
Any particular reason?
I don't like the other guy.
Who are you going to vote for?
Probably Tony Abbott.
Any reason?
Well, I think his policy on the asylum seekers is better than what Julia Gillard's is.
And what about Tony Abbott's budgie smugglers? That wouldn't be enough to turn you off voting for him?
It could be.
Do you like Tony Abbott or Julia Gillard?
Well, I like them both as leaders.
And what about the Greens, Bob Brown? Would you vote for him?
No. Wouldn't have anything to do with the Greens.
Any reason?
I don't like their policies.
And which policies do you like? Which side do you prefer?
Well, I've always voted Conservative, the coalition, and probably I'll go that way again. I think Tony Abbott is an honest fellow. I'm not going to say that Julia Gillard is not, but she's having a honeymoon at present and is doing very well. So.
And what do you think about asylum seekers?
I think we should be more hospitable than we are. So I don't go along with either of them that way.
What do I think about Julia Gillard? I'm a redhead, so I can't run her down.
She's alright, I guess. I'm a little bit upset about the way she went about things in ousting Ruddy, but oh well, she's better than Abbott.
What don't you like about Tony Abbott?
He sort of backflips on a lot of his policies. He says that he's going to do one thing and then goes, oh no, we won't do that. So it's sort of like he's trying to get the people to win by folding to them, I guess.
What did you think about the mining tax?
Well, once you actually sat down and understood it, it kind of actually made a fair bit of sense. I know the big companies were going to lose out on money, but the little people were the ones that were going to be better off in the end. So I actually sort of supported the mining tax.
What about the policies on asylum seekers? How do you feel like that?
Asylum seekers is a tough issue. Like, none of the governments have been really able to get it right yet. I think they've got a long way to go. Processing centres, they're thinking about regional Victoria and things like that, and I don't think that's really the solution.
And so what's the main issue for you in the election? Like, what's going to decide how you vote?
I haven't really decided yet. I haven't really had a look at their policies and who's going to offer the best thing. At the moment, I'm probably leaning towards Labor, just because I don't think anything Liberals have ever put on the table has been worthwhile. They haven't done anything for me in the past, so until they bring out something good.
Julia, I'm not sure about. Nice personality, but what about policies? Tony Abbott, I think he got the right policies, but has he got the right personality?
Well, I don't think Julie should be the Prime Minister. I think we should have the proper one back because she's a female and she's against mobbers.
Go, Julia, go. I reckon it's about time that Australia gets a bit of female Prime Ministry, and good on you. I hope she does a good job.
And what about Tony Abbott? What do you guys think about him?
Down with the budgie smugglers!
No, he should be with us.
I'd be voting for Kevin Rudd back because he's Kevin 07 and he should be Kevin 09, and that's what I reckon because, yeah, Kevin is a good bloke and that.
And Tony Abbott, would you vote for him?
Yeah.
Why?
It's more liberal, like John Howard. I reckon John Howard did a better job than what she'll do.
And what about the Greens?
Greens, not too fond of the Greens.
Bob Brown, do you like him?
Well, the Greens are going to get all Labor's votes anyway, aren't they?
And what do you think about climate change policy?
I think they're going to have to do something. Really, because I think that's what people want.
And are you happy Australia's had its first female Prime Minister?
I guess so. I think it's probably hard for the older generation like me to accept a lady. I think it could have been under better circumstances.
And what sort of issues are going to decide the vote for you?
Work, that Tony Abbott's work thing they used to have. Work choices. Climate change. Keeping the old pensioners and their old people, finding a solution to the hospitals and the medical crisis. Getting that seventh state joined in so you've got a cohesive medical plan for everybody. Looking after the dentistry and hospitals, poor people who've got nothing, helping them. That's what I think really people care about.
Well, I'm a fan of Julia's, I must say.
Any reason for that?
Oh, I think she's brighter, she's more open, and God help us if Abbott gets in. Just God help us.
So why do you say that?
Because I just think he's we'll look at the thing on industrial laws. I mean, he can't make up his mind about anything.
So what sort of policies are going to decide the vote for you this time around?
Oh, the green thing's probably going to determine a lot of it.
Would you vote for the Green?
Yes, I would.
And what do you think about the policies on asylum seekers?
I think we need to be totally compassionate, and they both need to come back to the centre ground. A tiny percentage of people are trying to come to this country, and of course you don't blame them. But we need to go to the centre ground, is my view. So, consistent with the Green policy.
And what about the mining tax? Do you think that was the right move?
Of course. Yeah, they need to pay something. They're our minerals, aren't they?
So what's going to decide for you who you'll vote for in the end?
Whatever I decide when I walk in and tick the boxes.